get the 2023 Clownfish comic books, including Crimson Wren Volume 1 and previously on Clownfish TV. We're offering a limited number of these books. In our second chance offer, go to shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the Hollywood strikes, the WGA strike, the SAG-AFTRA strike. And man, things are getting pretty salty. It's getting salty on both sides. Apparently, there was some discussion. You're telling me that the studios don't even want to talk to the writers now.
Yeah, someone said that. Well, no, it wasn't writers. It was for the actors.
The actors.
But the actors wanted to return to the table, apparently, allegedly. And that the AMPTP said, like, yeah, nah, we're good. Allegedly. I don't know that for sure.
So we're going to talk about this in regards to writers, because this is a very interesting twist here. So there has been talk that Netflix and other studios are using the strikes to get rid of unwanted staff, get rid of unwanted writers, people that are writing garbage that's not bringing anybody to the platform. Activists, people that complain, people that think they're above it all, right? And the word on the street is they're not going to bring them back in for negotiations until they start losing their apartments and they're desperate enough.
People have said for a while now, since it started, that the studios were planning on dragging this out for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, like you said, to stockpile money, to get rid of people, whatever, to make them, they'll eventually cave if they lose everything. Because it's easy for the studios, they have more money.
Yes, yeah.
It's like Disney with lawsuits.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So we've got that on one hand, right? Well, then it came out that Netflix just put up a job that they're looking to pay $900,000 to somebody to oversee their AI. Okay, and that was one of the big concerns of the writers.
How little is that going to replace?
Well, so what's going on? What is going on in a lot of publications, even digital media outlets right now, is they're hiring one editor, maybe paying that editor more than they would pay a regular writer, but they're overseeing a bot farm, basically, a bunch of articles being spun by AI to meet search engine requirements. So it might be that Netflix is like, yeah, make shows like this. Hey, Mr. Robot, what's going to get a lot of views? Give me a list of some pitches that are going to actually get a lot of views based on past performance, and the robot will spin up 10 different ideas.
Yeah,
okay, cool, let's develop those.
Let's start developing those with the AI. You might need a couple people to come in to make sure it's okay, but that's what this person's getting paid for.
Yeah, so $900,000 to oversee AI writing. Now where it gets really interesting, this is actually what kicked off the article, so we kind of took the long way around, but the attitude.
Yeah, that's where we have a problem.
The attitude of these writers. Now, I fully understand there are working class writers. There are people who are working on these shows that aren't making ridiculous mad money, right? But the attitude in this article on the New York Times is the reason why a lot of normies aren't supporting the writers and the actors.
It's an elitist piece of shit, is what it is.
Yeah, they're basically like, oh my God, we're being considered factory workers at this point.
Yeah,
like that's all we are. Blue collar
factory workers in this article. That's, oh my God, they're treating us as if we were like one of them. It's like, frankly, I think it's ridiculous. A lot of you get paid to write the shit you do. So and those people at least are out there working hard. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're putting life and limb on the line. They're not just,
these guys are demanding, like, if the writer's room needs 5 people, you need to put 20 people in there at higher pay because we need to keep our jobs. And then you have articles like this where they're just insulting the general public.
So let's talk about all of this, the state of the union, the state of the unions. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
Not a lot of woohoos going on in Hollywood these days, except some of the studio executives who are probably like, oh, thank God we can fire that person. I wanted to fire that person 5 years ago, but we knew that they'd go to Twitter and cause a shitstorm, so we couldn't. But now we can just use the strike and financials to finally get rid of these people. And that's what they're doing. But yeah, this article on the New York Times, they're basically like, oh my God, guys, it used to be that being a white collar Hollywood writer was like the pinnacle of success and a career goal for people. But now we're being treated like freaking factory workers.
Well, I would argue some of the shit that comes out of Hollywood looks like it was an assembly line like this. I mean, Star Wars clearly was by committee. And it's like, what works? Beep, bop, assembly line, and that's what a lot of this stuff has been lately. And I think that's why this stuff is not doing well.
So they're talking about how this has always been a prestigious job to be a television writer, a Hollywood writer. You've got they said this professor said that you get this tiered workforce of prestige workers and lesser workers, fewer officers and more grunts. The writer's experience shows how destabilizing that change can be. And they're talking about how they used to have artisans make cars, and then it became a factory job for meatheads to just put cars together on the assembly line. That the writers are above this. This is
they're above the riffraff, the general public, who they want to support them. As we insult you all because we're superior to you.
Breaking up complex jobs into simpler, lower paid tasks has roots in meat packing and manufacturing.
I'm sorry, but this is so. I mean, granted, this is these people talking. It's not the people that are on the picket line saying this, but there definitely has been an attitude of superiority and entitlement.
Yeah, I know a lot of Hollywood writers love to have their meat packed into different things, but this isn't exactly what they were hoping for. For decades, making television shows was similar in some ways to the early days of automobile.
No, it wasn't.
A team of writers would be involved in all parts of the production. Many of those who wrote scripts were also on set, and they often helped edit and polish the show.
Well, that's
into
true.
Its final form. That's true.
But comparing it to this is just insulting. This is just asinine.
Now it's increasingly rare for the writers to be on set, probably because I think some you've always had multiple tiers of creatives. You had people that were kind of writer showrunners, and it's very obvious that this show was theirs, right?
Right. And unfortunately, I mean, what's going on is there's more of that being done and less of the writer's room bullshit.
Yeah. So they said that because writers aren't as involved. And the thing is, they wanted like 20 people in the writer's room, right? This is what happens. You can't have 20 captains on the ship. You have one captain on the ship that gets paid $900,000 and a bunch of robots running the ship. But they said, in addition to the possible effect on a show's quality, the shift has affected the livelihoods of writers who end up working fewer weeks a year.
I would say most shows can't get any lower in quality, but that's just me.
It just goes on and on. They're talking about the residuals, which residuals,
that's valid points. Same with actors. The residuals and the streaming rights is a convoluted mess. It needs to be fixed. We've said it before the strike. Some of the things that they're asking for are fair, but where it's not fair is, okay, so after we get all this stuff, we get pay raises and we mandate that you have to hire like 5 times more people than what you need because we all have to stay employed. We have too many writers in Hollywood because you greenlit too many things, which are now shrinking drastically. You don't have room for all the writers, but you're still supposed to employ all the writers. Because they might have to go get a factory job and be one of the plebs.
Oh my God. Okay, this is the same attitude.
They're all tone deaf.
They're all tone deaf. This is the same attitude that a lot of the freelance writers have, a lot of whatever. Okay, let's read these couple paragraphs and we'll load the comments and we'll get this other article about Netflix and their AI job, right? Studios have chafed at writers' descriptions of their work as gig jobs, saying most are guaranteed a certain number of weeks or episodes.
But it is a gig. Hollywood has always been a gig. You go from project to project. I mean, you have a few people that are staff writers, but for the majority of people, it's been a gig project for years. I don't understand why they're suddenly mad about it now. It's been. Welcome to the reality for most people. I'm sorry, but
this is where I personally get ass mad. So I've worked as a journalist before too. I've also worked in software. I've worked in software development. I've worked in marketing. I've been a project manager. It's not real. You
don't know anything. You're just some, idiot in Pennsylvania doesn't know jack shit.
I don't know nothing. This is insulting because now they're insulting programmers too.
What, to learn to code?
Yes. Many writers fear that long-term trends for studios are to break up their jobs into ever smaller pieces that are stitched together by a single showrunner. Like a project manager might knit together software from the work of a variety of programmers. Some worry that eventually writers may be asked to simply rewrite chatbot-generated drafts.
Probably.
Yeah, because they're going to come up with better pitches that are going to win over more people than most of you.
But if a single showrunner can do your job and the project manager can do your job, you don't need all you. You're obsolete. Sorry.
Yeah. I think the end game is creating material in the cheapest, most piecemeal, automated way possible.
Probably.
Says this WGA member. And having one layer of high-level creatives take the cheaply generated material and turn it into something. The way coders write code in the most drone-like way.
Wow, what an asshole. Well, this person, you have to understand, this person is a Writers Guild member who oversees the Screen and Stage Master's Degree program at Northwestern. Hooray for so it's an entitled puffery bullshit. And it's like, even if you had people on your side, when you go around talking like this and acting this way, people aren't gonna be on your side anymore because you're insulting the people you want to help you now. You drone moronic idiots just want to consume product. You need to support us. There's no product for you to consume. Right back at you, assholes. You want to drive a car? You want your meat?
Yep.
You want your programs you can write with? Maybe stop being a condescending fucktard. There's an idea. Oh, I hate when people are like, they treat people like shit. One of my biggest pet peeves, well, besides lying, is when people are like, so superior and condescending to others. I hate that.
I think what's going on is that Hollywood writers, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, you are not special. You're not immune to the changes going on in the rest of the world. You're not above it all. Other people can do your job.
Well, not just that. They're demanding the moon.
Yes.
And while some people honestly deserve it, and they should get paid more, and I think there are really good writers out there who don't act this way and deserve, to be treated better. And I do agree the residuals and stuff is an issue, and you guys do deserve better for that. I agree with you. Your attitude like this just completely, alienates everybody who might support you.
Yeah. So let's look at these comments.
Moron.
All right, here are some of the comments. Let everyone in Hollywood strike. There's so many programs on Netflix alone to keep any viewer busy for years. Yeah, he actually says streaming doesn't pay as much as studios. The TV shows, the business model has changed. There's a lot of streaming garbage out there, basically, that gets produced that very few people watch.
Right.
Unless you're like the head writer on an NBC sitcom from the 1990s. Those days are over for the most part. I mean, there are breakout successes. I'm sure the Duffer Brothers with Stranger Things, I'm sure they're getting paid very, very well.
The next one. $4,000 a week means that if a writer works 24 weeks a year, he or she is making more than most people working full-time year-round.
Yes.
Given that the exceedingly low quality of what they produce, I'd say they are massively overpaid. No sympathy for either side of this issue. Let Hollywood disappear. But the comment, wow, $4,000 a week does not take home pay. Deduct insurance, union dues, taxes. You mean like everybody else has a job?
What?
Hey, Lori here probably is a writer. You're not very smart. Deduct insurance, union dues, and taxes, and they get 2/3 of that, which is still more than most people make. You do understand that that's the same for like everybody, right? Not just you. It's not livable wage in LA. Well, then don't live in fucking LA. That's what I keep getting. It's like, well, you can't live here on that. Well, then don't live there. Do something else. Why should I have to pay more, or people have to pay more so you can live where you want to be? If we had if we would lose our job or something would happen, we'd have to move. You are all paying for us to be paid. Where we live is expensive. You need to pay us more. You'd be like, well, don't live there.
Don't live there.
But this idiot, their answer is, well, after you take away, that's not gross. That's the net. I'm like everybody else. I hope Lori isn't a writer, because then there's definitely no argument about superiority and intelligence.
Oh my God.
God, you can't even make this shit up.
This next guy, as a coder, this article was cringy, particularly that last line. Mr. Dorn should maybe educate himself about programming before denigrating it. I agree.
Well, don't you know he's superior to you? Because he'll tell you how superior he is to you. You're this meat packer or a coder or a mindless drone. Unlike the exemplification of creativity that is them.
Yeah, this is, look, they're in for a rude awakening. I mean, the comments go on and on and on. Those were the top comments. But basically, you are going to be treated like everybody else, and you don't think you should be. That is the root of it. That is the root of all of this. Hollywood workers are going to be treated like everybody else, and God forbid they're treated like the plebs. This is why they're not getting a lot of sympathy from the plebs, because they've spent years, not your grunt writers, not your grunt actors, but there is an us versus them attitude clearly between some Hollywood people that fancy themselves as better than everyone else, and the audience that they're supposed to be watching their stuff. They're just the consumers. Shut up and watch whatever I give you.
And if you don't get it because you're intellectually inferior to them.
You're intellectually inferior. You're too stupid for our movies.
But if y'all stop watching their shows, they wouldn't have a job anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Fraggle Rock. You know,
the dozers, is that what you're going with?
The doozers and the Fraggles and the Gorgs, they have this symbiotic relationship. They don't really get along very well, but they kind of need to feed off of each other. And you can't go saying, hey, we don't need those damn Gorgs, or hey, we don't need those damn doozers, because you do. You just have to smile.
They literally found a way to insult like coders.
Yes.
Factory workers, etc. In one article talking about why they deserve more money because they're them.
If we would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those damn coders and their AI.
Well, you know what? You know what? You know what's even funnier? These people, they're acting so arrogant. They're acting so arrogant towards those people. Those people have a job that's not a gig job. You're stuck in a gig job and you're whining about it.
Oh
maybe
my God.
maybe they're in a better position than you are because they're not complete fucking assholes.
All right, let's go back to let's see what Netflix is doing. So this just kind of is a coda here. Netflix is getting backlash over AI project manager. I'm sorry. Project managers are plebs. They're just coders.
Right. Product manager is different. They're just going to replace you all.
Product manager job post that offers up to $900,000 amid actor-writer strikes. This is basically they're going to hire somebody to come in, take a look at the AI generated pitches, and flesh out these shows. This is the new normal. This is what all the blogs are doing now. They're basically like, hey, AI, what articles are going to get hits? Give me a list, and then we're going to flesh them out.
This is why I did agree with the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild about the AI issues. I did agree with them on this because that's exactly what's going to happen. And I did agree with them on that one.
Yeah, and eventually it's going to get to the point where it's like, okay, you actors are... And look, I'm not siding with the studios 100% on this one either, because it is kind of scary. It's a slippery slope, because at some point you won't need any people really involved in creating entertainment. You will have computers that spin up movies made to order, a la carte. What kind of movie you want to see.
It is a very concerning and dangerous thing.
It's going to be like the holodeck in Star Trek. It's like, what do you it's your own personal interactive movie. It doesn't matter if anybody else watches it. This is the movie I want to see. This is the actors, kind of like the actors I want to see, and kind of the music I want. And you could put in a whole bunch of prompts and get like a new Steven Spielberg movie, like it was made in 1985, starring a bunch of people and musical numbers by Michael Jackson and all kinds of crazy ass stuff. And it'll just spin it up for you. That's what's going to happen eventually. It is, and it's probably going to happen sooner rather than later. But yeah. So $900,000 a year per soldier in their godless AI army. Wait, what? Who is this? Rob Delaney was in Black Mirror. They're godless AI armies. That's what they're saying. Netflix has a godless AI army now.
I thought they didn't like God. I think a lot of these actors are atheists, I thought. It's bad. If you're a Christian, that's bad. I guess I would call other religions believe in God too. I'm just saying.
Q Vomit. This is a writer on Dead to Me, Flight Attendant 13 Reasons Why. This turns my stomach. Stay strong, comrades. The future of humanity hinges...
Stay strong, comrades. Oh, fuck's sake.
The future of humanity hinges on our ability to preserve humanity. The future of humanity hinges on our ability to preserve humanity.
Well, I agree. I'm not really sure if AI writing a TV show is where humans are going to be wiped out for.
Thank you. This is the hill we're going to die. So it's like, okay, if the AI takes over the pleb job, we've got robots building cars. That's fine. Joe Blow can learn the code because, he's just some jerkwater factory worker. He's not important. The robots are mining the coal, or the robots are running the power plant, whatever. That's not a big deal, but they're coming for our jobs now.
So it matters now.
Now the future of humanity is at stake if we can't write more Hollywood shit. The future of humanity.
Right.
All of it is at stake. So this is, again, they are learning very quickly, and not everybody. We know some people that work in Hollywood. They're fine.
Yeah, we're not talking about the people that one deserve it to be there, that they're really good, and that they're not complete assholes.
But the ones that are the loudest so far, from what I've seen, the ones that are the loudest are the has-beens, or the people who want to be, and this is their moment in the sun. And I think they're going to get shriveled up like a raisin, because the studios are going to look at them and be like, yeah, you're a pain in the ass. You're easily replaced. You are not special. You're not special. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.